Well, I'm coming to you now with a bit of breaking news of something we've all been waiting to see for quite some time now. As all eyes look to Giga Austin, it appears that, thanks to Jeff Roberts on Twitter, we are getting a picture that appears to be a truckload of Teslas coming from Giga Austin. Now, as we all know, Elon Musk did confirm that all deliveries from Giga Austin would be coming with the next generation battery cells. The 4680 cells are going to obviously be revolutionary in so many ways, but one of the biggest benefits that you'll notice right off the bat, of course, is range. So we've been waiting for quite some time now to see when are these 4680 cells finally going to be launched. Elon Musk did confirm during the last earnings call that they would be making deliveries out of Giga Austin this quarter. And we've also been confirmed that cars coming from Giga Austin would also have those 4680 cells. And with this picture that was taken just today, we are finding out that, hey, we could potentially be seeing our first deliveries of Giga Austin made Model Ys. But before we get into all the details, I want to make a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, my friends at Drive Protected Shop. Drive Protected Shop offers pre-cut PPF kits with a 10-year warranty. So regardless of what Tesla you're getting, all of you will qualify for 20% off using code BTG. Now, prices are listed in Canadian dollars. You're going to need to take about 20% off to convert that into US dollars, and then take another 20% off by using code BTG. Now, code BTG will qualify for all Teslas, whether it's a Model S, Model X, Model 3, or Model Y. You can get protected with Drive Protected Shop. So thanks again to my friends at Drive Protected Shop for sponsoring this video. All right, so now back to this picture from Jeff Roberts on Twitter. What we see here is a truckload of Model Ys that are coming from Giga Austin, and let's break this down. The first thing that you're going to notice by looking at this picture is these are all performance Model Ys. Now, we don't know yet if all cars from Giga Austin are going to be performance for a while, or if there's going to be long range and performance mixed in there. Now, a couple weeks ago, we did see a number of cars that were confirmed to be built at Giga Austin, and they appeared to be long range Model Ys. But this truck of deliveries has 0 long ranges on it. Now, it could just be coincidence. It could just be the first batch that's coming out and being shipped are performance models. Another thing that I noticed looking at this picture is there's more than one color on this truckload. So obviously they've been going through and perfecting all the paint colors with that new paint line at Giga Austin. The paint line at Giga Austin is going to be a step forward for Tesla, in my opinion, compared to what they've been doing in California. So it's good to see that it appears Tesla has gone through and made all the adjustments necessary to make any color Model Y that they offer. Now the next thing, and this is really where things start to get to, what are these cars for? As you can see, a number of these cars are wrapped just like any other car that's being shipped to a delivery center to be delivered to a customer. As we look deeper, we can see wrap around bumpers, we can see wrap around the door handles. So those are signs that this isn't just a test vehicle, unlike the previous cars that we saw that were just parked outside of Giga Austin. When Tesla makes a car just for testing purposes, they usually don't wrap the car for protection for transportation. So this would indicate that it is very likely a customer delivery on that truck. Now, this is only one truck, and this is only a handful of Tesla Model Ys that are being shipped. So this could be a pilot test to see how they're going to make it through with delivering these cars to service centers around the country. We still don't have details there. In addition, it's still unclear, are they only going to be making those performance Model Ys at Giga Austin at the beginning, or will we start to see long range versions coming as well? And if so, perhaps it could just be another day or two before we see even more truckloads and we start to get a better picture of what to expect. So I would keep a very close eye on this, because if you have an order in for a long range and you're holding out for those 4680 cells and it continues to appear that we're only going to get performance Model Ys out of Giga Austin, you may want to consider making that upgrade to a performance if you're dead set on getting 4680 cells. If they do only make performance models for some time, it could be a while before there's enough cell capacity to be able to support both long range and performance demand. As you know, demand for Teslas is through the roof. Getting a Model Y can take almost an entire year if you get a long range with no options. So the demand is so strong that if you want your car sooner or you want a specific battery in your car, it may require you to be flexible on which car you get. Now, in addition, we know that Cato Road has 1 million battery cells stacked up. Now, that doesn't mean they have 1 million battery packs. That's battery cells. So there's definitely going to be in the thousands of battery cells in this new 4680 pack. So how many battery packs that makes, I don't know. But that stockpile is presumably either for shipping to Giga Austin to kickstart operations, or it could be used to supplement production at Fremont. So we don't know yet if you're only going to get 4680s out of Giga Austin, and if so, does that mean Giga Austin will only make Model Ys and Fremont won't any longer? Or will they be making long ranges out of Fremont for some time, performances only out of Giga Austin for some time? There's still so many unanswered questions, but one thing for sure, this is a very good sign that deliveries are very close to happening for Giga Austin made Model Ys. There is, however, one thing missing here in the bigger picture. We have yet to see a certification for these cars to be delivered. Whenever a manufacturer makes a new car, it has to be certified before deliveries to customers can begin. So since we have not seen any documentation showing that certification just yet, that means that they technically cannot deliver a car to a customer just yet. But that certification could already be done, and we're just waiting for that paperwork to show up in the system. So that will be the next sign that we are good to go on customer deliveries. That could be any day based on what we're looking at with just one delivery truck. Hopefully we'll start to see more delivery trucks on a daily basis out of Giga Austin. So you probably have a pretty good idea of why the 4680 cell is so important for Tesla's long range plan. It is going to unlock the future of production at Tesla. There's cost savings involved, there's range to be gained, there's a number of good things on existing products, but there are new products on the horizon that cannot be unlocked until 4680 battery production is up and running. So things like the Cybertruck and the Tesla Semi and the Roadster, they all require that 4680 cell to go into production. So this is such a big pivot point for Tesla when it comes specifically to their car manufacturing operations. As a reminder, these new cells will be bringing 5 times the energy, 16 more range, and it will hold 6 times the power. So these battery cells are a huge leap forward and are going to continue to build a wedge between them and the competition. In addition, the anode material will gain another 20% of range, the cathode another 4% of range. It's going to add another 14% of range based on cell and vehicle integration. So when you pull that all together, we're talking about 54% increase in range. Now that would be based on the same size battery pack in the new Y versus the old Y. I don't think that that's necessarily going to happen, but just for fun, here's what the range would look like. In a performance Model Y today, you get a rated 303 miles of range. The cell itself gives you another 16% of range, or 48.5 miles. The anode, another 20% of range, or 60.6 miles. The cathode, another 4%, or 12.1 miles. And finally, the cell vehicle integration gives you an extra 14%, giving you another 42.4 miles of range. So if the battery pack was the same size in the new performance with 4680 cells versus the existing performance today, we're talking about a new range of 466 miles. That same increase for the long range would give you 508 miles of range. Now, as a consumer, that would be amazing to have that kind of range in a Model Y. But I'm still not convinced that they're going to keep the battery pack the same size as it is today. As a matter of fact, I think they're going to shrink the size of the battery pack and give you a modest increase in range, something like 350 miles in a long range and something like 325 miles in a performance. So modest increases over what's available today. However, these things should perform better in winter conditions, and they should perform much longer life cycle as well. There's a lot of benefits to these. The biggest one, however, is fast charging. These battery cells are going to be able to take a much faster rate of charging for a much longer period of time. So whereas today you may only get 200 miles of range after something like 20 minutes, that could be reduced to something like 12 minutes. This is a huge step forward in the future of electric cars, especially for Tesla. So as we're starting to see trucks pulling away from Giga Austin with potentially customer deliveries, it's only a matter of time, in days, before we start to see the bigger picture of what the new range is going to be on these cars and how big's the battery pack going to be. So we'll be keeping an eye out, optimistically waiting to find out exactly what we're going to start seeing with these new cars. In addition, we're going to get our first look at customers taking deliveries of these Giga Austin cars and getting a really good understanding of how is this car compared to the Fremont car. Is the quality better? Is the build better? Is the paint better? There's so much to look forward to this, and I'm so excited to see the Giga Austin Model Y starting to make deliveries. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Of course, if you did, give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram @BeardedTesla. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.